It's saying starting. We are live. All right. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hit the Ropes Radio. This is episode 351. My name is Courtney McIntosh, and I am joined live with my buddy Shane Howard, the Caribbean Playboy. Shane, how's it going?
I'm a little agitated.
Yeah, what's wrong, man?
I don't like, I'm not the techiest of people, and this tech thingy that we're supposed to be trying out, it's not jiving with me properly, so I'm a little agitated.
Okay.
I feel a little like John Cena staring at Roman Reigns right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully it gets up and running for you. I'm trying to get the Facebook live stream worked out right now. Yeah, it is a big change. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm techie, but not when it comes to, computers and stuff, just phones, So, all right. Well, like I said, we are live. Go ahead.
I said, I'm right there with you. Well, let's go.
All right.
This puppy.
So, we got a couple things to talk about on the docket. Pro Wrestling Illustrated just released their PWI 5 for the year 2017. It is topped off at number 1 by Kazuchika Okada. Of New Japan, the champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Rainmaker. It's in front of you.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pulling the list up right now.
I didn't even know PWI had released their stuff up until, you guys mentioned it earlier today. I don't follow PWI. I totally forgot PWI was still a thing.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily follow PWI. It still exists because I still see them. I still see the magazine in like Kroger. But as far as following them, I don't necessarily follow them anymore. Just because
I can tell you the top 10. So I can tell you.
Okay. Nobody reads magazines anymore. So.
Yeah, once the color commentator got retired, nobody read newspapers magazines anymore. So yeah, but I can tell you the top 10 in because do we really need to talk about anybody else other than the top 10? So you mentioned Okada. We can then say number 2, AJ Styles. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns is 4th. Kenny Omega is 5th. Shinsuke Nakamura 6th. Dean Ambrose 7th. Samoa Joe 8th. Bobby Roode 9, and The Miz 10.
Very interesting list right there.
Yeah. Again, I didn't know PWI was still a thing, but it is. People, especially wrestlers, still take, stock of what's going on when it comes to PWI. They still check it out to see where they land. It's kind of like the NBA 2K ratings, where the basketball players are interested in knowing what their ranking is. So I guess for the wrestlers, it's just like that. For me personally, I'm happy to see some of those names in the top 10. I might scratch my head, but I'm happy that they're in the top 10, like The Miz. I'm happy that he's getting some recognition.
Yep. Is there anybody that you see in that top 10 who you feel shouldn't be in that top 10? I know I have probably two guys.
Well, I think we all know that the hit the ropes guys are the biggest Dean Ambrose fan. So seeing Dean Ambrose up there is, I'm just like, what? Reigns ahead of Kenny Omega. That to me, because I'm looking at this in terms of star power, wrestling ability, and matches, like the top, entertaining, technical, whatever adjective you want to use when it comes to matches. So with all the raving that we hear when it comes to Kenny Omega and the 4 and 5 star matches that he puts on, Kenny Omega could wrestle with a plastic Walmart bag and make it look entertaining. I was kind of shocked to see that they put Roman Reigns ahead of him, but that's really... Oh, and then, of course, we were talking about it, and Kevin Owens as 3. So other than that, I don't have a problem necessarily with the list. There's been Omega at 1, but Okada at 1 does not surprise me either.
Well, I will say I was a little bit shocked seeing Dean Ambrose on the list because, like you just said, I'm not a Dean Ambrose fan either. I was kind of shocked by seeing Bobby Roode on the list, but I guess I shouldn't be too shocked. I mean, really,
why?
That's
because Bobby. Is that why?
So because he pretty much debuted and won the NXT championship right away. And Bobby Roode always does good work. I can't lie and say that I was paying special attention to his last run in TNA because I wasn't. I'm not too shocked to see anybody really on this list. I am shocked to see 2 people left off of this list, and I'll tell you who those people are. I'm kind of shocked to see Cody Rhodes not on the list. I'm also shocked to see Braun Strowman not on the list.
So Braun is not on the list at all, or just not in the top 10?
Well, he's not in the top 10.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, when you know more than I do, since you even noticed it in the supermarket. I don't even notice it in the supermarket. Do you happen to know when the date is that they're compiling this data for their rankings?
So I read today that it goes from July to July. So I guess July 1st of 2016 to July 1st of 2017. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm asking that, trying to see the rise of Braun Strowman and July. So during that time, the bulk of his main event status has been him versus Roman Reigns, and they've been feuding for, I'd say, almost a half a year.
Right.
And he's getting big crowd reaction, but the fact that it's really just been that one big feud, I don't know. I'm not totally shocked that he's not in the top 10.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because that is true. One big feud, even though it's lasted. You know, the only feud that really lasted longer than his and Reigns is, you know, Miz and Ambrose's.
True.
All right, so then I'm also, like I said, I'm also a bit surprised to see Cody Rhodes not on the list. Excuse me, Cody, since he cannot use his last name. I don't know where Cody has seen the entire list. You know, you go to PWI's website, you have to buy it. I've been trying to search to see the full list. Haven't been able to find it though. Where the American Nightmare sits on the list. He had a pretty good year. You know, ROH champion, New Japan. So hey man, good year for Cody. So
all right. I don't know if it's just my computer when we're trying to do this whole new studio thing. You know, my computer isn't running at optimum speed. You're kind of coming in a little staticky. You know, I'm hearing that other people are hearing it.
okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's the new studio thing either. Are actually seeing this across on Facebook Live. So you were kind of choppy also. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close out this and then you know people can just tune in on YouTube.
All right. Well,
It just seems to be slowing my computer down.
That Cody was ranked 33.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's it, huh?
That's what happens when you leave the WWE, because you notice 8 out of the 10 guys on that list are in the WWE. So you get a lot more exposure when you're in the WWE. Now, to bring this back to a sports correlation, you know, I'm curious to know if wrestlers have it in their contract, kind of like how you have the NBA players who have it in their contract that if they make an all-NBA team or they make the All-Star game, they get a bump in salary or a bonus or something like that. That are these wrestlers having it in their contract that if they are in the top 50 of the PWI, they get you know extra money, or the top 10, or if they make number 1, you know, seeing as how it's a predetermined sport, do they have these things in their contracts? Because I know back in the day, like with Hogan and all those contracts that WCW was handing out, there was like a lot of like weird stuff in those contracts.
Yeah. I mean, I probably not. I don't know if WWE even you know pays attention to the PWI list. So
I think it's more for the, not necessarily for the people who are ranked in, like, let's say the top 50. Mm-hmm. I think it's more so for those who might be like in the 400 to 500, where they're like, oh, let's see if I was noticed, or let's see if I was recognized. Oh, I'm number 423. So out of all the professional wrestlers, you know, I'm the 423rd best. I think it's more so for those wrestlers than necessarily the ones who are going to get those double-digit or single-digit spots.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day, I don't think they care really. So, but so wait a minute. So Jinder Mahal is rated higher than Cody Rhodes.
At least PWI is not, not hating on gender. There's no gender inequality at the PWI as opposed to in the Stokes household.
Definitely as opposed to the Stokes, within the Stokes household. So that's the top 10. So do you think Kazuchika Okada was deserving of being number 1? He finished number 2 last year. I want to say, and I think Roman Reigns finished number 1 last year.
I'm all for Okada. Like I said, I thought it would be Okada or Omega. Since we brought this up, I thought it would be Okada or Omega at number 1. Hot Dog mentioned he would put Naito, for you New Japan folks. He would put him in the top 10.
I definitely, you know who I would put him over on this list? I put him over Shinsuke Nakamura.
Well, Hot Dog said he would put him over Dean Ambrose. I don't know. Shinsuke was pretty damn hot down in NXT. So I would more so go with Dean before I go to Shinsuke, but yeah, I would definitely have Naito in the top 10.
All right, so that's the PWI top 10. If you want to find it, you can go to a myriad of websites. I found the list on Cage Side Seats. For the top 10. Next, Shane, on the docket, there was a title switch this week on free TV. Did you happen to see Raw this week?
Well, you should know even before you tune in to a show that if Banks is defending her title, there's going to be a title change. You should know ahead of time.
Hold on.
Yeah, you should definitely know. I tuned into Raw. I'm like, I hope they continue going this route of Sasha not being able to successfully defend her title. And sure enough, with Alexa Bliss getting back the title that she should never have lost. I really don't know what the end game is with Sasha Banks, but I'm happy that she lost the title.
I gotta agree, and I came to can you, first of all, do I sound better? Okay.
Much better.
So I'm going to admit something live on air that may rub some people the wrong way, but I don't care. I don't like watching Sasha Banks wrestle. And then I liked her in NXT, but man, and she did put on a really good match, with Charlotte and Bayley last year. But I don't like watching her wrestle. She's like robotic in the ring. A lot of her moves are telegraphed. Man, I'm just not a fan of Sasha Banks on the main roster. The title thing I think is lame that they keep, having her win the title and then immediately take the title off of her. Why did she even win the match at why did she even beat Alexa Bliss? And if they did prove just to get another title notch on her belt, she's gonna lose it the next time she defends it. So I'm not a fan of Sasha on the main roster. I'm not, and it's weird because a lot of the NXT guys that have come up recently, I like them in NXT, and then it's like, what happened? Because hey, Nakamura's that way too. Look, man, his interest is cool and all, but you can only hear it so often, and then you look at what he does in the ring. And you guys wanted to blame Baron Corbin. You guys wanted to blame Jinder Mahal.
Let's also
just
Shinsuke.
Okay.
Shinsuke came up, and they put him in a feud with Dolph Ziggler. First off, after Dolph Ziggler, they had him feuding with Baron Corbin. You know, those are not the most interesting of individuals that you would like Shinsuke to be paired with. I mean, John Cena, who is their biggest, draw of, the last decade or whatever. John Cena was feuding with Baron Corbin, and they quickly dropped that and just moved John Cena over to Raw, and Baron is just like, okay, well, person. So I can't blame Nakamura because they brought him up and they started putting him with those people. And they put him with Jinder, who, as much as we are, here and raising the flag for Jinder Mahal, he kind of is starting to get very repetitive to the point where it's just like, let's just fast forward through the the promo where he says that America is hating on him, and I'm the modern day Maharaja. Let's just it's kind of not Shinsuke's fault.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. So, well, look, okay. First of all, we know Dolph Ziggler can work, and I think that should have been a good, starting feud for him. And yeah, Dolph's been kind of languishing for the past couple of years, but the man can still put on a good match. Did they have any good matches in their feud? I mean, and like I get what you mean. Okay. Look, I like Baron Corbin, but he is boring, and this past week on SmackDown was probably the first time I've had the reaction to Jinder where I'm just like, all right, man, enough with this exact same promo. Say something different. But man, listen, it's like ever since Nakamura's match with Sami Zayn in NXT, he's just like the quality of his matches seem to go down. We can't say that about everybody who they brought up from NXT. I mean, Sami Zayn, even though he loses all the time, he still puts on good matches, unless he's being squashed by Braun Strowman. But he still puts on good matches, and he loses all the time.
He has some good matches with Braun.
Yeah.
Now, to play devil's advocate for a minute, do you possibly think that when Shinsuke and Sami had that match that everybody talked about, do you possibly think that people in the back were like, you know what? You got to tone it down a little bit. You're kind of showing us up. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe. And so, and I read an interesting article about Shinsuke Nakamura on Vice. And pretty much the tone of the article was Shinsuke's gone soft. Either Shinsuke's gone soft or he wasn't as good as he thought we thought he was, But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just, it's just a couple guys that they feature prominently that I'm just very indifferent to. Like, it was nice seeing Randy Orton, give Nakamura RKO, but other than that, SmackDown is, the way I felt about SmackDown last year, where I thought it was the best WWE product on TV. I kind of turned away from that theory, because the only people who I really enjoy watching on SmackDown right now is AJ. KO was great this week. Always enjoy the Usos. Aiden English. Oh my goodness, man. I really enjoy Aiden English, even though he loses. I love his character. I wish they would give him. I wish they would just give him an opportunity to not lose, even though he did technically win this week.
No, he lost. It was struck from the record. Not that he lost. Sorry, he didn't win. He didn't win. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. It sounds like you have a lot of guys on SmackDown that you like, even though you're kind of over SmackDown. That was quite a list. That was like 7. That was like 6, 7, or 8 names. That's a lot.
It was 4, man.
No, the Usos are 2.
Right.
You said Aiden English. You like Kevin Owens. You like AJ Styles. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the things that one of the things that they're doing with Jinder that it's kind of ruining him is the Singh brothers, because, and it's the same thing that they did. And I know we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, but it's the same thing that happened when Seth Rollins was the Authority champ. You had J&J Security, helping him every single match, and you have the Singh brothers involved in every single match. So you can't see Jinder's talent, because he's getting, every time he's winning, it's a distraction.
Daddy, I'm tuning in. True. It would be nice if they found a new way for him to get a win. But I don't think he'll be holding that title for much longer. So
neither do I. But all right, let's move on to wow, we still got a lot of time to go here in the show, but let's go on to what I feel is probably the biggest thing that happened in WWE this week, and that is Cena reigns from TV. What were your thoughts? Wait a minute, and not only that, but John Cena's subsequent use of Instagram immediately afterwards.
I didn't know about the Instagram stuff, because I don't necessarily follow wrestlers on Instagram. In the WWE, the only WWE wrestler, well, they're not even a wrestler, but the only WWE entity I follow on Instagram is JoJo, because I just want to see JoJo dressed as JoJo does. But I guess you're talking about, since I pulled up John Singh, are you talking about his posting of the Nas Ether CD?
Yes, I am, because he ethered Roman Reigns.
That is very true.
Straight ether. And you know what? I was listening to Meltzer, and Meltzer said that, it was all scripted, and it was supposed to be scripted that way. But you could clearly see that said the bit about the promo that shook Roman, and I don't think it was kind of like supposed to act that way because he's supposed to show emotion. I think that he was really thrown when Cena uttered that, it's been, it's called cutting a promo, kid. And when I hit the floor like, whoa, like they actually really doing this on TV. Like they're really doing this. Now with some stuff that Cena was saying that I'm like, okay, come on, man. Like works. Like when he said that, he doesn't jump off the bus with the mythical golden shovel, and that the WWE universe, directs everything. We know that's a lie, because the universe gets behind guys all the time, and those guys are like subsequently like, trash. But then on us, and then the universe will boo, and they'll just keep force feeding down our throat, a la Roman Reigns. So I thought it was it wasn't pipe bomb worthy. It was almost that good, especially on Cena's end. But I thought it was like really nice. I think it was cool that they really actually went there on TV, because that's how people feel about both of those guys. So
most definitely. I just want to segue momentarily just to go back to the PWI thing. because Samoa Joe had tweeted out about an hour and a half ago. He said that if you're in the biz and you're upset about your PW ranking, permitting, I'll stop by and toss a brick at your head to justify your boo-boo face. I just wanted to add that. All right, so
shout
back
out
to
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I guess that's why he's in the top 10 for PWI. Now back to what you were saying. I agree. I loved it because it was real. It's what a lot of people feel and say about these two guys, and this is what you want your wrestling to be. You know, we have these characters who are over the top. We have people who are snake people. If you watch Lucha Underground or Shikara, you have these people who are possessed by snakes. You have pharaohs. You have vampires. You've had pirates. You have a dead man. You have these characters that are, supernatural. Yeah, I'll go with supernatural, right, and fictional and all this other stuff. But we also love realism. Mm-hmm. So while we root for the dead man versus a guy who's wrestling in a full body suit like Giant Gonzalez, when we get these worked shoots or unscripted moments, we're just like, this is great. You're just sitting back and enjoying it. And I was enjoying the heck out of Roman and John Cena. Yeah, John got the better of him. Roman had a couple nice, lines in there, but
and it wasn't close.
Yeah, I don't think it was close. But it was just very entertaining, and I'm just like, this may be interested in their match. It may be interested in their match, and that is what promo segments are supposed to do. You're supposed to make the fans, the viewers, be interested in the upcoming match. And they did. Did they tear each other down? Yes, they did. It was kind of the opposite of what Paul Heyman did on the same show. But that worked, because if Paul came out and the same, it's just going to be repetitive. It's kind of like when we see on the same show 2 or 3 DQ finishes. You're like, why are they being so repetitive? So it worked.
So now here's the thing that I want to know, that I'm curious about. So we know, excuse me, in all of his matches with Brock Lesnar, one of the things that that was enjoyable about the matches, they kind of worked. I don't know if stiff is the word, but they worked hard, hit each other hard, and I'm a little curious if they'll go that route for Cena Reigns, and I think they should. Now, because it'll make this past Monday segment seem all the more realer if they do, in my opinion. But now, one thing that I had an issue with that segment in particular was not the segment itself, but the commentators. And yeah, they got to hype Roman up because we all know Roman's their chosen heir apparent. But how many times did Michael Cole and the King and Corey Graves say how historic this match was, or a WrestleMania type match? Is it really a Mania type match? I don't think so.
You don't think that a match between John Cena and Roman Reigns, arguably 2 of their bigger or biggest draws currently. Two of their most popular, as much as they get booed, they're very popular. And we can go the other side and say polarizing wrestlers. You don't think that's a WrestleMania match? Now, the way that Cena just left SmackDown, came over to Raw, and called out Roman Reigns, and the follow-up to that didn't make it seem like this great. If they did what they did on Monday night first, that would have been great. What they did first did not really make me interested in seeing their match. When they announced the match before their talking segment. You know, it was all over the internet that WWE said that there's going to be Roman Reigns and John Cena will meet at No Mercy. And I'm like, okay, great. Nothing from last week truly made me say, oh my God, I really want to watch this match. Yeah, one of them, you know, hit the other or whatever, but it didn't make me want to be like, oh, I can't wait to see this match. But they should, because it's two of their biggest guys. I shouldn't have needed this promo to say, I want to see Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Sure, the little kids might want to see it because they might like both guys, but for the older crowd, I shouldn't have needed that on Monday night. But Monday night happened, and I'm glad Monday night happened.
Yep. I think probably the one thing that the reason why I say I didn't need it to be, you know, before they even like really interacted each other. You know, we had interacted in the ring a little bit. I didn't need for them to be telling me, oh, how big and historic and how legendary this match was. Save that until after the contract signing, after the talking point from this week. Okay, maybe I don't feel like, oh yeah, they can have this on Raw or something like that. Maybe I'm like super intrigued, and don't get me wrong, I am super intrigued for this match. I'm curious of how the style they'll work it in, and I'm also curious in the result and how long they'll feud.
I don't know how long they'll feud because we got No Mercy. Then the next biggest pay-per-view is Series, which is November? No. Yes.
Hell in a Cell is October.
Right. So we got November is 2 months. No. You can technically say 3 months.
Yeah.
From now. You know, that's kind of a long time. I don't think they're going to necessarily feud for that long. They probably have this one match now, and, you know, we might revisit it in a couple months, you know, where there's always some tension. Or maybe we just have this one match and Cena disappears for a couple weeks or months to go film a movie or voice an animated series or go host another TV show. I don't see it necessarily going for very, very long.
I agree. Now, one thing that I was kind of surprised to see is, you know, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura solo match next week on SmackDown, and the winner becomes the #1 contender, because you don't really have a legit #1 contender to Jinder Mahal. I think it should be AJ Styles, but you know, he's currently holding down the United States Championship. Good spot for him. But I think that's going to be interesting, because is Randy going heel? Did he turn heel with his, you know, RKO of Nakamura, or was it just a RKO out of nowhere? You
know, that was just Randy getting to the head of his opponent for next week. I don't think Randy is turning heel. It's just, you know, I'm the Viper. He's known for playing mind games and getting into the head of his opponent. I think that's really all it was. He fired the first shot against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay. I can agree with that. Because, you know, after that, I think if it would have been like a heel turn, it probably would have been a full beatdown afterwards, but it wasn't. Well, you know, it was just Randy saying, hey, don't, what am I trying to say? Don't underestimate me. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't underestimate me. We got that. And then some other news from Raw. Jeff Hardy's the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And I was actually happy for that.
I was shocked. I'm happy with the outcome, but I was shocked. I didn't see them going that route.
Neither did I. I for sure thought the winner of this Battle Royal was going to be Jason Jordan or Finn Balor.
I thought it was going to be. I thought Jason Jordan might win it as well. I think I had somebody else in front of him. And then once they got eliminated, I was like, okay, yep, it's going to be Jason Jordan. And then it didn't happen. And I saw Jeff Hardy. And I was like, okay, I didn't see this coming, but I like it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, look, man. Usos escaped this week on Smackdown, so they get to choose a simulation of their rematch against the New Day. Don't know when that match is going to come. Sounds like I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up to everybody? Hello? Shane, are you there? Mr. Howard? Caribbean Playboy, are you there? I think maybe I'm not there. All right. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's Shane. You know, gonna get to the bottom of this. I don't even know if you guys can hear me while I'm still talking. But that's gonna be it for this week. I guess we're gonna be signing off early. You know, I have no idea. My internet's crappy. And to all you guys who, you know, had to suffer through my static and my breaking up, I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, maybe it is Shane. If you guys can hear me, then it's definitely Shane. So I'm not going. Okay, yeah. Am I still choppy? Can anybody tell me if I'm choppy still? But anyway, since Shane's not here anymore, show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna hijack the show. But overall, I can say that I was kind of impressed with these the two shows this week. I actually liked Raw more than SmackDown this week. I did watch them both. I was not the one thing that on Raw that I didn't necessarily care about was Enzo's arrival at the cruiserweights. I mean, I think first of all, the match sucked, and for them to have Noam Dar, who's a really good wrestler, lose to Enzo in the way he lost, I thought kind of sucked. But I'm hoping they're not pushing Enzo to be the next cruiserweight champ because he sells a lot of merch and he's popular. Look, man, the guy can, when he comes out, the roof goes off. So, I just hope he's not in line for the cruiserweight title next. But you got, I'm sorry, you got, what am I trying to say? Oh, I'm trying to get Shane back on, so bear with me. Right, so, no, that's not it. So anyway, every time Shane and I, every single time Shane and I record with each other, somebody has technical difficulty. Usually, and it is either me or him. With that being said, I'm going to wrap it up at this week. Thank you all for joining in the chat room. Thank you guys for listening, downloading, supporting us at Hit the Ropes Radio. You can find us on thevc.com. Go check us out there. You can also find the podcast, Hit the Ropes Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. We're not on Spotify, I don't think. Or whatever, if you have an Android phone, whatever your Pocket Cast app, your podcast app of choice is. So that being said, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for joining in this week. Peace.